And I want to take this moment to congratulate my brothers and sisters within the African American community. I just want to let you know that you guys have come so far. You guys are so resilient. Ignore all the negative labels that are spewed against you. You guys are the most talented, the most influential group of people in this world, period. All the negative things that are spewed against you are meant to block you from seeing your power, from seeing your light. A lot of people are short-sighted, but I see the bigger picture. I see us harmoniously living together, exchanging ideas and uplifting our communities. We are so much stronger together. Yes, we have some minute differences in culture, but the things that unite us is so much greater than you can possibly imagine. And I can already hear some of the negative Nancy's trying to say something to divide us further. Don't even play with me. It's been way too many factors trying to divide us. We can't afford anybody within our community to continue to spew this nonsense. As always, I love you, I appreciate you, and stay black. Peace.
Africans come here looking to us to be skin folk. They already got a deal, with the discrimination of being an immigrant, and then they look to black people for comfort, black Americans for comfort, and they don't get none. That is what you need to be focused on before you as a black person try to open your mouth against other groups of people of color. It's already disheartening to receive discrimination from everybody else who is not black. But when you look to your own people who are so far removed from their culture and you look to them for comfort and they treat you like dirt too, it's a different type of disheartening.
That's the point I wanted to make. That's the point. You expect non-black people to be racist. The Latinos, Indians, and Arabs. But for Africans, that's worse because they're black too. And they see the things that black Americans are going through already. And they want to add on more problems on top of that. Just like Latinos, Indians, and Arabs.
This is the same issue we face with black Brits. Same with Africans in this country. They have absolutely no idea of the history of the Americas, and particularly the history of the United States of America. To not understand that Caribbeans are the same exact thing as Americans, and then come to America but identify with Caribbeans but then identify with African Americans is the source of the problem. Africans look at the United States of America as a white country, and they look at Americans as being white Americans. And so they look at us and they think we are immigrants the same way that Africans are immigrants in the UK, whereas we are just black and from America, which happens to be the land of milk and honey, where all immigrants come and immigrate to. So in their view of America, they diminish our existence, and they diminish our ethnic group, our culture, and our history. Mind you, African American culture, which is American culture, is the culture that has been exported to the world. I have been to every continent except for Antarctica, and I see pictures of Tupac, I see pictures of Biggie, I hear hip hop playing, I see people dressed like us. So the reach of African American culture is a global one that many other black cultures haven't reached. She then goes on to paint this broad stroke of African Americans being lazy, and this is a trope that they love to throw out. Take a listen to this.
Africans come to America, they're busting their behinds to get degrees, become doctors, lawyers, and stuff like that. So when Africans look at African Americans, they're like, these people have credit cards. We don't even have credit cards. These people are not even working, and we come here and we busting our asses. Now we're doing this. We're now six figures, and these people have all these years to become all these great jobs and careers, and they're not doing anything. I'm just saying this is what they're saying. Yeah, this is the conversation. It's like, y'all have all this time to get free money, free loans, and we don't get that back at home.
Yeah, but y'all get that when y'all come here, though.
Exactly, and guess what? We're right here, and y'all are still here.
There's a lot of...
The absolute gall and audacity of this girl to be in America and say that, well, we come over and we get more money than you, we have more education than you, Not understanding you wouldn't even be allowed to be in this country without the fight and the strife of African Americans to fight for their own liberty and their own freedoms. Without African Americans, you wouldn't be able to exist. You wouldn't be able to have a home. You wouldn't be able to have a bank account. You wouldn't be able to vote. The list goes on. So for you to come in and benefit off the backs of what African Americans have done and my ancestors have done, and then to disparage them and to diminish them in their own country is really fucking crazy. You left your country because of economic instability, political instability, due to colonialism and the systems that were left in place after the Europeans left. Do you not think that America The land of the free and the home of the brave, that's a majority white place, didn't put in systems that systematically oppress us till this day. So you come in and you don't have that systematic oppression ingrained in your culture and DNA. So you're able to hustle and do things that most Black Americans can't even fathom. Let's use our brains before we get on podcasts and start talking. Maybe I should start a podcast, honestly, because the people that go on these podcasts, they lack common sense, they lack historical context, they lack nuance, and they lack the ability to think logically. Bye, y'all.
I'm American.
Yeah, but so you're Afro-American.
Yeah, I mean, I'm African American, but like my people have been in America for like centuries.
Hundreds of years.
Yeah.
You were originally from Africa.
I mean, we're all originally from Africa.
That's debatable. So where do you trace your roots to? What country in Africa?
I don't, because I was like in America, and my grandmother and my great-grandmother and my great-great-grandmother. So like, I don't think we have the documentation, because like the slave trade sort of ruined that.
Okay.
But yeah, we've been in America for hundreds of years, many generations.
African Americans are telling me in my comments, because I'm not from here, I don't have the right to speak about them. I've heard too many times that African Americans believe that we Africans look down upon them when we come to this country, and we think we're better than them. It's false. When we were young in Africa, we worshipped African Americans. Yes. We changed our names to African Americans. My friends in school were called Jim Brown, Black Moses. I was called Superfly.
Okay.
Yes.
Go King.
Blacks in Africa, the barber shop, we go to barber shop until blacks started wearing afro, and we stopped and we started wearing afro.
Really?
We blacks hated our own fabric, the dashiki, until African Americans made it popular in the 70s, and we all started wearing it back. As a case, I had his albums. We've watched all the movies. Kool-Aid High, TNT Jackson, A Hell Up in Harlem, Detroit 9000, Truck Turner, you name it. And then we go home and we're trying to practice how they speak and all that. That was when we were in Africa. Ask any African who went through the 60s and 70s. They'll tell you, oh, we love them. Maya Angelou moved to Ghana, and she was like a sister. 14 years she lived in Ghana. Her son had an accident and broke his leg and arm in Ghana. African Americans are telling me in my comments, because I'm not from here, I don't have the right to speak about them. Do you know W.E.B. Du Bois? Do you know where he died? He died in Ghana, was buried in Ghana, and Nkrumah built a center for Pan-African studies. He came to Africa, the first black PhD holder from Harvard, W.E.B. He came to Ghana, Africa, to tell us that our best way is to be Pan-Africanist. We listened to him. We didn't tell him, who are you to come from the United States and tell us what to do? There's a guy called Kwame Ture. He was formerly called Stokely Carmichael. He's the one who came up with Black Power, Black Power. Do you know where he is right now? In Guinea, in Africa, with pistols on his hip. When you go into my comments, African Americans are saying, I don't know anything about them. Hear me. Know you, the African Americans, more than you know yourself. Why? Because I am coming from the place where they brought you from. So when I got here and I looked at you, I see too much of us in you, and that's why we stay away from you.
For example, right, I'm African. Both of my parents are immigrants coming from Cameroon. And when my parents came here, I know they were saying some of the most like vile things about African Americans, which confused me because I'm an African born in America. So I'm like, how could you say something about African Americans when I'm technically an African American? But it's because when they were watching movies, when they were younger, what were they seeing? They were seeing the portrayals of black people that they have in media and in television, which is lazy people, gangsters, thugs. And so what did they come up thinking? Oh, everybody with locks is a thug. I wasn't allowed to have locks until I was in college. Now, when you think about it, it's the same thing with African people. When you think about how African people are represented in media in the U.S., what do you think of? Movies like Coming to America, where they show literally the worst representation of African people ever. So now when you have the media that's showing like all these negative representations of each of the black diasporas, now when they come together and you have like an African American person, an African person going back and forth, they're just going off of the stereotypes from what they've seen, let alone being able to know each other's actual cultures. If I were to ask a lot of people about how Africa is like, they probably couldn't tell you about 3 of the languages spoken in Africa. But they for sure know what Wakanda is, you know? And it's just things like that, that like, And it's just more so that we need better representation, and we have to remember that representation in media is controlled 120%, and so it is up to us to stop consuming the bullshit media and to stop falling for it and start producing our own better, less regressive media.
So you heard he talk about how the media portrays black people, and that's what make Africans view black people a certain type of way. And then he said you shouldn't consume it, meaning that you shouldn't even watch the negativity or believe it. So if you Latinos, Indians, Arabs, and Africans, all you racist groups, if you know that the media only projects black people in a negative way, why would you feed into it? Why would you believe it when they show black people doing negative things? Why would you think all black people are like that?
Need these foreigners to do, whether they look like me or not, is to carry their ass back home. I get tired of people coming from different countries to America, and all of them, whether they look like me or not, all of these foreigners have a tendency to treat black Americans like we are less than them. They rude, they racist, and they disrespectful as hell towards us. And it's crazy because never in this lifetime would you ever see millions of black people able to carry their ass to anybody's country, take over, and be allowed to be rude and racist and disrespectful towards these people in their country. Black Americans, we come from here, bitch. We're not from Africa. We're not from Africa. And you mean to tell me that everybody that's not from here can come here and be so disrespectful towards us on our land? I get tired of that. All it takes is for these foreigners to come out here and get them a 2024 Honda Accord, and they get to acting like they Caucasian. You're not Caucasian. And they don't realize that they ain't Caucasian and that they don't run nothing in this country until the Caucasians remind them through their actions that you're not one of us. Then that's when they get knocked down to size. But until then, they be thinking that they go home.